So what would you tell people who are kind of feeling discouraged? Like, what is the best way to maintain a healthy weight long term?
I say it's simple, but it's not easy, right? So it's simple. Single ingredient foods and foods that your great grandmother would recognize if they have a label. So single ingredient foods, you walk in the grocery store, it's basically the outside of the grocery store. Eggs, milk, cheese, meat, chicken, fish, red meat, right? Cabbage, apple, cucumber.
Cabbage, I'm surprised.
Well, I'm trying to be inclusive, right? If you want to eat salads, be my guest. But apple, orange, pineapple, single ingredient foods. You get the idea. Mm-hmm. If you're seeing a label, would my great grandmother recognize the ingredients, right? So most processed foods, my great grandmother wouldn't recognize the ingredients, right? Like, so my great grandmother is reading the ingredients of a David bar. EPG, what is EPG? And then the ingredients become artificial and natural flavors. I have no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm. No one does.
I'm channeling my great grandmother now. And then you have, sucralose, aspartame, ACE-K. No one knows these ingredients, and they're problematic for humans. So that's the simple rule. Like, if you look at, for instance, a package, and I think the problem here, and the reason I say it's simple but not easy, is the convenience piece, right? So I can say, eat single ingredient foods. It's easy, guys. And I know that your audience is going to say, okay, I work, I have children. It's hard. It's time. So this is where the processed manufacturers get us, is convenience. And this is what worries me about things like this David bar or these protein-forward Pop-Tarts or cereals, is that I think processed food manufacturers are smart. And they've seen the writing on their wall.
Yeah.
And they realize, hey, we're getting called out for Doritos and Coca-Cola. Let's make something that is 1 degree better.
Wait, is that really a thing? Pop-Tarts with protein?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, yeah. Protein Pop-Tarts. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
Protein brownies, protein cookies. Oh, yeah. It's just like, let's make something 1 degree better. Like, This is the new iteration. And you see this with, look, okay, anything is a step in the right direction, but it's like, I think that they're trying to fool us in some ways. And they're saying, let's make things 1 degree better, 1 iteration better. And instead of having a Snickers bar, you have a bar with whey protein and collagen, but it also has EPG, this fake fat that's going to cause loss of fat-soluble vitamins, and it has artificial flavors.
Yeah, it's like it's these labeling games. I mean, the same thing happens in the skincare world. Like, consumers know what to put on the label to make people feel just a little bit better about what they're using on their skin. And the same thing happens in food.
Just a little bit better, right? And so at this rate, we're never going to get back to good food, right? So you have to take a quantum leap and say, okay, I'm going to just start eating good food. Like the number of steps between, like, okay, you have Snickers bar, maybe the next step is a David bar, but it's like 25 steps to get back to a freaking chicken breast, right? Whereas you could get the same amount of protein in a David bar with the same amount of calories in a chicken breast and way more but like, you have it's the Grand Canyon divide there. We're never going to get there at this rate. So, but people get confused and they leverage convenience. So they make something that's 1 degree better and convenient. And so that's why, that's the whole reason I built Lineage. We built Lineage is like I wanted to try as best I could in my little small corner of the world to make something that's convenient but high quality.
Yeah.
Because you have to fight back somehow. And look, I would much rather that someone just make a ribeye steak. But if you're running around, when I looked at the market, like jerkies and meat sticks, there's nothing that I really liked. And so let me just make that for people. And that's sort of my answer. It's let me create this for you because I'm in this unique situation that I never thought I'd be in. And I want to help you with the convenience piece. But the fact of the matter is that if we let convenience dictate too many of our decisions, it's just so hard to make good decisions. I flew here yesterday from Florida, and you look in the airport, and I do this now. It's like my thing. I just look at all the foods that you can get. I'm thinking what is even here?
Yeah.
What is the health? If we let convenience be the arbiter of the choices we make with food, it's very hard.
The convenience is killing us, essentially.
Yeah.
And I know that you mentioned it's simple, but it's not easy. And I think that with some intentionality, it does become easy and second nature.
Once you create the patterns.
Yeah, once you're there. And you've done a great job with Lineage, of providing these on-the-go snacks. Your air-dried steak is insane.
It's good.
It's so good. And, having that versus I don't know, a protein bar or a candy bar, you actually feel satiated from that.
A protein Pop-Tart.
Yeah, protein Pop-Tart. There are ways, and I think something that is helpful for me, because I have a lot going on, a full life, 3 kids, business, a lot going on. And I've just become okay with eating really simple meals. This morning I had ground beef and coffee with raw milk and felt satiated. It was nothing fancy, very easy to make. I mean, we do pot roasts a lot, like throw carrots and steak and, some water and salt into the crock pot, and it takes 5 minutes and you have a meal for the whole family at the end of the day. So like once you kind of get in these rhythms and habits, it does become pretty easy and you feel better, you have more energy, which it's a convenience to feel
Fertility,
better.
hormonal balance, sleep, libido. I mean,
And it makes everything in life easier once you feel good versus like short term, yes, a little bit more work, but long term, you're really getting so much convenience back into your life by making these intentional choices.
it's just a mindset shift.
Yeah.
But that's a hard thing for people.
It is.
It's meaningful and it's lasting, but it's challenging. And I love that you brought up the satiety piece because I want to just mention this for a minute because I think this is sinister. There's a study that just came out a few months ago. So we talked about EPG, horrible. Artificial flavors, natural flavors, not great for humans. But these artificial sweeteners, I think, are sinister. And I've talked about these for years now. And
What are some examples of the artificial
sucralose, ACE K, and aspartame are the big ones. And ACE K is sometimes as asulfame K on the label. Sucralose is sometimes as Splenda is the brand name. So those are the three big ones. And I've been talking about these for years. And whenever I would talk about it, people in the health space would say, look, Paul, here's a huge meta-analysis that shows drinking diet soda is weight neutral compared to drinking, or even better than drinking soda with sugar, right? So there's nothing to worry about with these artificial sweeteners. And I think you're missing the forest for the trees. Like they definitely affect the way the microbiome is communicating. So there's quorum sensing. Quorum sensing is a word that we use to talk about how bacteria and viruses and fungi in our guts communicate with each other. The artificial sweeteners definitely change that, potentially in a negative way. And a recent study came out with sucralose showing that it increases blood flow to the hypothalamus. So it's changing the way your brain reacts to food in a way that it's probably making you hungrier. So here is at least the mechanistic evidence to say, this is not benign. Like you can show me this meta-analysis, but I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. And I just don't think that any human that has intuition is going to look at a protein bar or a protein Pop-Tart, because all these protein Pop-Tarts and protein cookies have these artificial sweeteners because they're marketed as zero sugar, which is great because processed sugar is not good for humans, but humans still want it to taste sweet because we have this evolutionary desire for carbohydrates from our history with sweet fruit, which is a great thing. And so you put these artificial sweeteners in, look guys, it's fine, it's safe, no problem. But then you see studies like this and it's like, wait, it's actually probably sabotaging your satiety. So the amount of satiety, if there were an objective way to measure satiety, which is lack of hunger, from 150 calories of ground beef versus 150 calories of a fake protein bar with sucralose, my money, all of my money is going on the ground beef, like the ground beef horse here.
100%.
100%.